This is Eliud Kipchoge, cruising through the streets of Sydney, Australia, over the final kilometers of this new major marathon. For this race, the 40-year-old Kipchoge managed to stick with the lead runners for the first hour and a half, and as always, he looked incredibly smooth, while running at 4 minutes and 45 seconds per mile. This was just proof that even though he had just turned 40, Kipchoge still had the speed and endurance in his legs to match almost anyone in the world. However, when it came to the 30 to 35 kilometer mark, the speed up front proved to be just too much. And even though he did not go on to take the victory here, he still proved that age is just a number. Because with a finish of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 31 seconds, Kipchoge still ran a very impressive race, as this finishing result equates to an overall effort of 4 minutes and 54 seconds per mile, or 3 minutes and 2 seconds per kilometer. Given that Sydney also has some rather big hills throughout the race, this was actually much more impressive than many people thought. And while this finish wasn't quite as pristine as Kipchoge's previous 11 major marathon wins, it still ranks him among some of the best in the world. Kipchoge's ability to stay fast throughout his career has been an inspiration to millions. But what Kipchoge just announced might be even more of a reason to celebrate running, because in a recent Instagram post, he just dropped some incredible news.
Pushing the thousands of runners towards Central Park. New York, I can't wait to see you.
Now, if you've been following Kipchoge's career for the past decade and a half, you'll know that this announcement is a very big deal. At the moment, there are 7 major marathons in the Abbott Major Marathon Series, and after completing New York in 2025, Kipchoge will be one of the very few athletes to have run all 7 major marathons. Now, a few years ago, Kipchoge's goal was to win every single major marathon in existence, and he was certainly on course to achieve this, as he had already won races in Chicago, Berlin, London, and in Tokyo. But it was really his experience in Boston that added complications to this goal, because even though he was favored to come into this race and dominate in 2023, he was only able to finish in 6th place. This race was really the first time that Kipchoge looked genuinely vulnerable. But after more than a decade of racing, and after various world records, and after 2 Olympic gold medals, it finally appears as though Father Time has finally caught up with the GOAT of the marathon. Honestly, there were a few years where I thought that age would never affect Kipchoge's ability to race. It seemed as though no matter how old Kipchoge was, and no matter which marathon he chose to run, he was destined to not only win, but he was destined to dominate. However, in a recent interview with Runner's World, Kipchoge has announced a brand new perspective on running. In this interview, Kipchoge stated, "I trust that I have nothing more to prove. I'm privileged to still be running at this age. I'm actually more in love with marathons now, just to participate and inspire people. Above all, I'm running for humanity, running for hope, and telling people to come out and run. I came here to tell Australians to please help me. I will help you to make this country a running nation, and I think we achieved that in Sydney. I'm learning that those who are running behind me are the happiest people because they feel it more. They run in a slow way, they learn in a slow way, but they cross the finish line in the happiest way. In my mind, these are the people who could present themselves at the starting line to get them to sign in and run. It's not about running fast, it's about completing a marathon. It's about getting that experience." Now, as a racing ambassador, I don't think you could find a single better athlete than Kipchoge to represent your event. I mean, this man has done absolutely everything that you could possibly imagine, both on the track and on the roads. But proof that his running is making a significant change comes from the fact that in 2025, he is officially scheduled to run 3 marathons, which is something that he has actually never done before in his career. If we go all the way back to 2013, when he ran his very first marathon, he took the victory in the 2013 Hamburg Marathon in 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds, which at the time was a course record here. And later that season, he placed second in Berlin with a time of 2:04:05. This 2 marathon per year plan became the standard for Kipchoge moving forward, because for every single year from 2013 through 2025, he has run exactly 2 marathons, except for the year 2020 when he only did 1 race due to COVID-19. This racing plan certainly worked out tremendously, as Kipchoge has won more major marathons than anyone else before him. But for 2025, he has actually already raced in London and in Sydney, and in November, he will be taking on the hilly course in New York. Now, given that the New York City Marathon will be taking place on November 2nd, this will mean that Kipchoge will still be 40 years old. But given that his birthday is on November 5th, this will place him just outside of turning 41. This is quite significant because the oldest athlete in history to win a major marathon was Eliud Kipchoge at 41 years old, who won the 2021 Boston Marathon. This means that if Kipchoge can pull out this win, he will be one of the oldest athletes to ever mount the podium at a major marathon. However, winning this race is going to be unbelievably difficult, because stepping to the starting line along Kipchoge is once again a truly stacked field. I feel like I'm saying that every time that a major marathon takes place, but this one truly is stacked. Along with Kipchoge, this 2025 NYC Marathon will include the 202 athlete Benson Kipruto, there's Deresa Galeta, there's Evans Jabet, Alexander Mutiso, Abdi Nageye, Alphonse Simbu, and Sandre Moen, and every one of these runners have already broken 206. But beyond just this list of running greats, we also have a total of 17 athletes that have broken 208. And even though on paper Kipchoge clearly has the best PB, as his personal record is more than a minute faster than everyone else, this personal record comparison here is just not a reliable indicator of the true potential of the athletes. The truth is that Kipchoge is still one of the more talented athletes in the marathon circuit, and the odds are that he will probably run pretty well here. But taking the victory in this race is, unfortunately, almost certainly not going to happen. One of the key records that I still believe Kipchoge has the ability to break is the Masters world record in the marathon, and this time currently stands with one of Kipchoge's primary rivals and friends over the past 2 decades, Kenenisa Bekele, who ran a time of 2:04:15 in the 2024 London Marathon. This is just insanely fast for a 40-year-old to achieve. But Kipchoge actually got fairly close to this mark in this year's London Marathon, as he achieved a time of 2:05:25, just 1 minute and 10 seconds away from Bekele. Now, to achieve this kind of performance, you simply have to run on a flat and fast course. I'm talking pretty much only London, Berlin, or maybe Chicago would give you this kind of result. And given that New York is known for a few hilly portions during the marathon, we are just not going to see a 2:04 from Kipchoge this year. And also, after a quick review, the current course record at New York stands at 2:04:58. So unless Kipchoge does something absolutely ridiculous, Bekele's Masters world record will continue to stand at 2:04:15 after Kipchoge races in the New York City Marathon. Kipchoge's new announcement that he will officially be running all 7 major marathons is quite inspirational. This was a goal of his for years, and initially he did want to win all of them, but again, time itself is just an unstoppable force that every person has to endure. And with this in mind, I would love to hear from all of you about your expectations for the marathon great Eliud Kipchoge. What time do you think he'll achieve in New York? How fast do you think the field will go? And do you think that he will ever break the Masters world record of Bekele at 2:04:15? Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.